enter, enter, enter. We are streaming on 4 platforms tonight.
Ooh, very cool.
Get that
We're
fancy
on
setup.
D Live. We're on Twitch.
Get that fancy
We're on
setup.
D Live. Where are you streaming?
Oh, well, I should probably.
Where are you streaming?
I'm on Trovo, D Live, Twitch, which I need to close all these because I can hear myself. Trovo, D Live, Twitch, and YouTube. That's where we're at. So I'm all over the place. Do some light music here. Just for the hell of it. I don't know why I was typing that. Alright. Hey man, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. It's been too long.
I'm assuming you've been pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, doing this, doing the update, getting it out was a lot of work. And then we're almost through. We just have to finish the Switch version, which is basically done. We just have to finish playing it. So far, there's no bugs, so it feels pretty stable. So if I can beat it tomorrow, I can have it out in a week. Because however, it takes Microsoft, Nintendo a little bit of time to do that.
Yeah, they're pretty finicky, from what I understand. Which,
Yeah, they have high standards, which is a good thing ultimately.
yeah, they've always been that way too. Like even back in the NES days. You go back and look at all the history with that. That's why we have like those weird, like baby blue and I think some other color cartridges for the NES. It's because people were having to find ways to get around their ridiculous like vetting process for games.
Oh yeah, some of the stuff people did was so creative. When there's a will, there's a way. People will make that happen.
Right, yeah. And no surprise, EA is one of those, I think.
Oh yeah.
But wait, actually, I think they were doing that with the Genesis, actually. Yeah, that's right. Because Kalinske had to go visit them and yell at them about it.
Oh yeah.
If you never read Console Wars, it's a great book.
I have not read Console Wars, but I have watched a bunch of documentaries about it, so I know the general history of it.
Man, I probably listened to that book like 3 times.
Is there an audiobook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll probably listen to that then.
Oh.
Have you been following this GameStop stock market thing?
Loosely. I think it just popped up yesterday, and I don't know exactly what's going on with it. Just kind of
Okay, I'll send you a video on it. You can watch it.
Should I buy some GameStop? That way,
if you had done it, if you did it yesterday, you'd be pretty rich right now. It was my friend bought it at $50. It was at like $3.50 today, which is a huge jump.
I think some people in this other Discord I'm in, they're kind of thinking what's going to happen is it just like a pump and dump. So it's going to go real high, and then people are just going to sell out and cash out basically. We don't really know yet. This is really weird how quickly this is happening.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, like of GameStop of all companies, Like I thought people hated GameStop, but I guess it's not the case. Just seems fishy. Seems kind of fishy. Now I've been doing that Bitcoin, just a little bit here and there.
How many do you own? Any full Bitcoins or just doing like fractions?
Just fractions. I started way too late. I scoffed at it like back in the day, and come to find out this year it was like 15,000, and now it's like 30, I think, right now.
Yeah, it was 40 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got like.
Which is crazy.
I got like
I've been trading Chainlink, and I've done pretty well on Chainlink. When I bought it, it was about $6. It's been up to like 25 now, which is a pretty great gain on it.
I think what I'm gonna do if we get that other stimulus check is I'm gonna just drop like a good bit into chain link, because even if it gains $5, like that's like a really good gain. Not the
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing,
that's
maybe like $100 or $200, something like that.
yeah.
That should be good.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had put more into chain link back when it was $6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I only put a couple hundred into it, but if I had put like a substantial amount, I would be pretty well off right now.
I'm gonna give this like
Hindsight's
one or
2020.
yeah. Ironic. I think we can probably just go ahead and get started. It's been a few minutes.
Cool.
Or we can just talk about crypto for 2 hours. It's fine too.
Do you have a link to the stream?
Yeah, I dropped them all in the other Discords. Let me give you what I dropped in there.
Okay, cool.
I'll just put it in the group chat so you guys can. This is a copy paste.
Are you on good terms with Hellcry?
I don't know. I don't have any issues with him.
Then he would probably join this.
I think Chloe said that they were trying to get Hellcry in here, but evidently that didn't follow through. I can't tell you why. I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't really talk to most people on that one server, so I kind of just pop in every now and then. But yeah, I pretty much don't have much of a reason to be on there anymore because most of the people I want to talk to are on my server anyway, where I have them as friends. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, no offense to them. Obviously, it's just not really
Of course.
my space.
You know, it's everything's very polarized now, so it makes sense that you know.
Oh, just heads up. We are live. Just want you to know that.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
I know we're kind of talking about. There was some Discord drama. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's a Discord. There's always going to be drama.
Right. Every Discord I'm in has drama.
Yeah. It's a feature of social media. Some would say it's the point.
Would you call Discord social media?
I think anything that facilitates social interaction in a digital space is social media. I think it's less manipulative than Facebook and Twitter because it doesn't create a. You have to opt into your echo chamber. It's not built off AI.
Right.
So it's a lesser of the evils, but it's still social media.
It's a lot more organic, back and forth discourse.
Oh, Hellcry's at work.
Okay. I mean, he's welcome to join.
I think the issue
like
is
in the
they're
future or whatever. I know he's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
gonna be able to join tonight. So
cool.
and Chloe's gonna be a bit late, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And she might not be able to make it either. Fine. It's okay. Whoa, that's new. Let me get this on screen. I hate how anytime I click out of the game, the music stops. It's so jarring. Okay. We should be good. I'm gonna hit transition. See if it pops up. Why you no work? I'm actually just gonna mute the desktop audio while we're doing this. Oh, what's up, Robin? Long time no see. How the hell did I do that? I think I had issues streaming this last time. I can't remember how I got around it. I think I had to do like a borderless full screen or something. Let's try that. Windowed. Yeah. That should fix the issue. There it is. Gotta fit it to the screen. Why is it doing that? I promise I've done this. Was that? notifications.
Messages.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my downstairs neighbor's like, "What is this? What's happening?"
So we have one on YouTube, one on Twitch. This was not a mistake. Oh, happy birthday, by the way, Robin.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
21 is a good age.
Okay, hopefully I can use the time power. So yeah, that new thing, with the angel in the background.
Oh yeah,
How do I
that is a
back out?
new addition. So
Why is B? I have an Xbox controller. What the hell? All right.
when you hit the next button, it'll let you select it.
Okay, I think it's registering B as yeah. No. Well,
Oh, it's Andrew Robin.
yeah, it's Ackman or YiiK Man.
Mr. Ack.
Mr. Ack YiiK Man. Story. So this is the content warning.
This was the most requested feature in the game. I'm not kidding.
That's interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean it's a sign of the times. Like
Mhm.
I think for me it's definitely something that I'm not used to, but I have no um I have no issues. If it makes people happy, it's fine. I'd go with story mode for sure.
Yeah. So I'm probably just gonna speedrun Frankton because I'm tired of going through Frankton. Like I've restarted this game so many times because I wanted to
Oh yeah,
try to
I
help,
don't blame.
but I just
Playing it on the Switch, testing it is challenging for me because sometimes I don't see the game anymore, so I forget to look for the thing I'm testing because I just play the game on autopilot at this point.
that sounds just fun, real fun. I don't look forward to that whenever we finally get our crap off the ground.
Yeah, try and avoid it as much as possible.
Man, will I go by? I'm always gonna do this.
Wise.
Just in case, you know, you never know.
You never know what you happen upon in the land of Hyrule.
I don't think it's I mean, I won't say much about it if you don't want me to, but I don't think it's much of a secret, the whole third ending thing. No one's found it yet. No one.
No, they have not.
It's taken such a long time, in fact, that people are you know, claiming that maybe it doesn't exist, but I take your word for it. I do.
It's too obtuse for its own good. That's the problem.
What was that what was that Mega Man thing that took like 20 years to find? Do you know what that was?
I don't know, but I know the Nier Automata secret took like 5 years for people to discover.
See, that kind of stuff is pretty incredible to me.
Well, you know, it's easy to pull a bunch of code from a game and read it and assume that you fully understand it and completely understand how everything is hidden, but I think Nier was a pretty good proof that that's not the case.
Yeah, just because you're joining us. Oh, that's not an L. I'm blind and dumb. Alright. I think it was only the two names, right? Zelda and Game Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Probably this guy.
Nice. That makes me Michael sick. I like how the recommended channels to me right now are Hasanabi, Cash App. Like, the Cash App channel? What?
You know, I've been reading a lot of manga on my phone lately. Totally legal. And these apps have been really trying to get me to use that Cash App. And Coinbase as well for some weird reason. Crypto's like going crazy right now.
Yeah, I think we're finally entering the year of legitimacy. Now that PayPal has added crypto to it, it just made it so much more accessible and useful.
How easy is it actually to use though? Like I don't go looking for places to spend it because A, I don't have much, and B, I don't really see a whole lot of outlets to use it. Like I don't notice it as a payment option on a lot of websites and stuff.
Well, now that you can use PayPal for it, it's much easier.
Okay, so like, that's what they did. Okay, I see what you're.
I'm fairly certain. I mean, I haven't paid for anything using crypto before ever in my life. I just own it. It's just a place I'm storing money at this point.
Yes, same. Oh, sure. To use the D-pad because it's going all over the place.
Robin, that would be hilarious if you pulled that off.
Thanks for keeping up with chat because I'm definitely not.
That's cool. I have less to read than you.
Okay. My first answer for this was Dreamcast. I was very upset when a Dreamcast didn't show up at the end.
Yeah, I thought about that, but it was just gonna be a bunch of work if we checked what was put in by the user and then load a 3D model. It'd be a lot for Brian to make, but maybe I'll add it in the future.
Don't worry about it. I was just kidding. Though, what's really funny though is when I first. Oh, that's cool. That looks good. What's really funny is when I first played, when you first meet Panda, I had one of the answers as Panda, because we know a guy. His name's James as well, but we just call him Panda because it's like his nickname from high school. And I really thought that that was some kind of design choice. So like, whoa, they pre-planned for that somehow.
Nice. Yeah, my hope was enough people that things would hit close enough to home that it felt a little uncanny to people. Like I knew it obviously couldn't work for everyone. Like I had originally considered logging with social media and then like scrubbing the data from people's social media, but like as soon as you start adding network code to a game, it just gets way more complicated.
Right, yeah.
It was totally out of scope. And it also was kind of like, I mean, the ending of the game is telling the player to basically unplug from social media as it is, that it kind of seemed hypocritical to have you use social media to log in. It would have to have been a lot more poignant than it was to really make that point well.
Oh yeah, I can't give them any money right now anyway. I kind of took this as like a joke about Kickstarters that don't really do what they say they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go get that plate of cookies that we can actually eat.
Maybe we should make it give you an item if you inspect it. That'd be cool.
The cookies?
Yeah.
Can't you? Isn't that a consumable in this game?
I don't remember. There's a lot of consumables.
Actually, maybe it's not.
And they're all like the most random shit because Ian made them up. Because like Ian really likes Caesar salad, so he just made Caesar salad a consumable, which is the most. Imagine in the middle of a fight eating a Caesar salad. Like, it's so
or
funny
a hamburger, or.
Well, the hamburger you could at least hold with one hand. Like
True.
A Caesar salad is two-hand food.
True. I've never tried it myself. In Kung Fu.
Oh, you've never had a Caesar salad?
Oh no, I mean fighting while eating anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't recommend it.
Can work out for you.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that reminds me of the pretty soon after the game came out.
That phone call.
You on Twitter you released this picture of like 2 traffic cones outside your house or something. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
You're like, watch out there. For those who don't know, there's There's an enemy pretty early on that's just like a traffic cone guy who shoots traffic cones at you from his arms. And I think
That
wreck
was
your day.
the first enemy Brian designed for the game was the Traffico monster.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I remember seeing the demo. What the hell was I supposed to do?
Go find the cat.
Yes, I should know that.
So you're gonna notice the first reduced monologue right here.
A few hundred yards outside of town, I came to a junction, mulling over the strangeness of being back home. I stopped to notice a forest I'd never. It was dark, but somehow attractive. I made a mental note to explore it later, and took a step toward.
Oh,
Hey, give
yeah.
that back to me!
That's a big reduce.
Yeah, I think it works better.
I think you're right, actually.
It gets the idea across. You know, it's less self-indulgent. I think it works.
So, where do you get ideas to do stuff like this? I know anyone who's played Ocarina of Time knows what that sound is. It's Zora
Well,
theme.
me and Brian are big fans of overworlds in RPGs, and we always find them to be really endearing with like the weird, super deformed characters.
Mhm.
And it seemed like a good opportunity to put like a silly joke in the game.
Okay.
So,
And then it
you
kinda
know,
came to
people-
mind together.
yeah, we're like, well, there should be like a silly sound effect or something to draw attention to the absurdity of this anthropomorphic cat holding your mom's grocery list running away. So I had suggested that we make it sound like the scooting sound in Ocarina of Time, and I think the sound was just made with, like, Jose just made the sound with his mouth and then put a lot of compression on it to make
Really?
it sound, yeah.
Wow. Because it sounds just like it, at least from memory.
Yeah, it's a new sound effect. It's not, we didn't steal any sound effects from Ocarina of Time. That would have been easier.
Honestly, even if you did, you probably could have gotten away with it. Well, I don't know, actually.
I mean, even
Crazy
if we could
people
get away
out
with it, it's just not fun. It's part of the fun part of making the game is the actually getting to make it. Sound effects, like I made very little sound effects for this game. Most of them were made by Jose, but sound design really does make a game feel unique. And like some of the sounds, I think in this game they're a little too like bass heavy, and they tend to conflict with the music because the music is so rich in texture that when you have this sound effect that has all these layers, it kind of feels imbalanced. But despite that, I think the sound effects are pretty charming.
Yeah, no, I actually really like the sound design of this game. I think y'all did a very good job with it.
I'm glad to hear that. So what do you think of the new minigame? Much simpler, right?
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's simple, it does a good bit of damage,
Yeah, and like I think
I'm gonna turn the volume down real quick for me, so I can hear you.
cool.
Damn it. Controller Y, stop. That stick does not like these menus.
On the Xbox controller.
Yeah, I think it's just me. It's not the game. Get out of here, Sephiroth clone. No comment.
So over here we have the blue woman who will make a significant appearance in Y2K 1.5.
That's dope. Let's see it. Isn't there? Yeah. Even if I'm, quote unquote speed running, I gotta get all the cheeseburgers and pogs and coins.
Oh yeah.
It's just an RPG thing. And that actually gets me in a lot of trouble with roguelikes. Like, you aren't supposed to do that in roguelikes.
Yeah, you're not really a completionist style of gameplay or game design.
Have you seen Noita? That game?
No, how do you spell it?
Noita. It's a roguelike that's gimmick is basically, I don't know if you ever saw like the old like Flash like powder element game where you could basically it used singular pixels to represent different elements, and you could put them together and they would like do things.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at footage of it. This looks sick.
It's pretty fun. It's hard as hell though. It's
Yeah.
because of the aforementioned element system. You can set something on fire and it'll just be like, it'll spread. Like if you set one on fire, obviously it's gonna burn. And sometimes you'll just have it like dripping from the ceiling and stuff and falling on you, as well as all the other harmful fluids and gases in that game. I've been playing that a little bit last week or so.
I have a weird relationship with roguelikes. Like, I understand that they're games you're supposed to just keep playing until you're able to complete them, but there have been very few roguelikes that I've ever actually seen to the end. I usually enjoy them for a few hours, and then I don't come back to them. Like, Enter the Gungeon is a really great game. It's super fun. But, like, I don't know, that type of game usually isn't for me. Like, I have a strong appreciation for the roguelike, but there's usually some element to it that interests me less. And, like, I don't even have a problem with the super difficult gameplay. Like, I love the Dark Souls games, and that satisfies in me what I think a lot of people get out of roguelikes, where it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, but there's actually
lose
progress.
Yeah. Well, because there's only so many times I want to see the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's totally, it's a problem with me, not a problem with the genre. I think they're brilliant, and I think a lot of people love them for good reason.
Oh, but I totally get it. The only one I really got enamored with was I think Binding of Isaac. That one.
Oh yeah.
Actually, that one and what the heck is it called?
I do like Binding of Isaac. I've put a lot of hours into it, but once again, I've never completed a run of it. I don't. And you'll notice, reduced monologue, there is no vibrating with motion.
Oh wow. Yeah, that feels natural. That feels good.
It does. It feels much better.
Heal thyself. I like how the water fountain is the replenishment spot.
Yeah. Well, it's
the whole
because
game.
a lot of RPGs would do like the sacred water fountain or pond that you would step in and cleanse yourself. So this was just like the modern version of that. So now in the new version, every character has an affinity. So there is an affinity is basically an element. So like Alex is metal type, Vella's water type, and depending on the enemy you're fighting, if you have the superior affinity, they'll take more damage from your attack. So it's like a much more simple version of what you get in Persona, but it just adds a little bit that there's more reason to swap your characters out.
Okay.
Oh, and yeah, Robin pointed out something good here. The smile is an anagram of slime. So, because every game has their slime type thing.
That is.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Let's go.
Hey, Brian. We have the other Ackk bro here.
Well, you're not in the stream, so keep it on.
Okay, cool. Oh, just ignore my message. It's fine.
We were just talking about the affinity system. This
I like
is the
how
first
you chose
time.
metal. That's really neat.
Yeah, he's metal because of another character in the game who must be metal, based on their body type, or rather their weapon.
Yeah, and it kind of worked to like have them be the same type. So
Yeah, we tried to make characters that were parallel have the same affinity.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the slime thing as well, to be honest. I did end up drawing my, it's not finished yet, but I did get the basic outline of I guess our first boss.
Oh, cool, nice.
So, just
How
gotta
has
get
the
it.
progress been going on the game?
Oh, slow as a mess. But it's just because, it's not our, we're not really in a situation where we could just sit and focus on it every day. There's work and other stuff.
Yeah, it's piecemeal. That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
that
usually
happens.
the start of a project is usually slower.
Yeah, at a certain point it gains momentum, and then another point it crawls down to a slog again.
This is that part I
But
was
that
talking
high
about.
point in the middle, that's great.
Yeah, there's
we're...
the high.
Go ahead, sorry.
The high point feels like, hey, this might actually come out.
What sort of help did you have in mind?
We're kind of hoping just to get a demo, and I'm not going to get too into it because I don't know how much I should, but we're going to approach a couple of publishers and see if they'll... You know, I'm not going to name any publishers, but that's the plan, you know, and say, hey, does this look like something you want to give us money for? Okay, cool. And then we're going to hire an artist, because we need an artist. And we should be able to cover the rest.
If it's what you really want to do, you should go for it. And, you know, there's, usually, if the game's rejected by a publisher, you can usually find out why, and, you know, maybe it'll help you improve the product and go from there. Robin says that they love the new combat system. Thank you very much.
It is nice. It's nice and quick. It keeps the mini game aspect. You've added, you know, again, like a weakness system. That's actually kind of nice to have.
The previous main attack has now become a skill called Beatdown, which is basically like a super version of its previous self. So you can get you know, even more damage if you use the Beatdown. Oh, I see you're not a liberal arts major, and you need to say no.
Never have been. Whoa. There you go. There's a bug. Enjoy.
Oh no. Open your menu and close it. See if that fixes it.
Try talking to something and see if that makes it go away. I think I'm a little bit behind on the stream.
Are you watching on Twitch?
Try inspecting the one of the signs.
Oh yeah, the combat sign.
Yeah, like down to the south of you.
Okay, that fixed it.
I suspect that, yeah. It has not fixed yet on my YouTube viewing of the stream.
Oh, okay, yeah, on Twitch it's good.
Yeah,
I
Twitch
will
is
see if
much
I can
faster.
fix that bug.
Yeah, Robin, that's correct. The only way to use Trick Shot is now through the beatdown mechanic. And the old battle system is still in the game, so if the player, you know, if the player preferred the old way, you can enable that in the options menu.
So if your name is EcoMaster21, it's right there for you.
Yes, exactly.
Eco is an interesting guy. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I can do puzzles. I'm smart. This is like the first real weird thing you see in this game, and
Yeah.
it just
What's interesting is when we first showed the game off at PlayStation Experience, that was the when we actually started real development. So we showed the game at PAX East 2014, where we had a prototype that we spent 50 days working on. We then took a bunch of months off where we weren't working on the game until we got a publishing deal. So after we had a publisher and the game was funded, and we all quit our jobs to work on it. The first location we showed was the factory hotel, but it was a very different version. And the mechanics for the game were very different. Like, you could take items out of battle. Like, you could find like a bomb. You could bring the bomb into battle and use it against enemies.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had that. We had the moving like sidewalks or whatever they were that you could drop the bomb on,
and it was tricky because when we were showing the game, everyone kept asking us like, "Well, is the whole game in this dungeon?" Because we didn't show them entering the dungeon, everyone assumed that the whole game would just be in this weird, surreal location. And we learned pretty early on that if you're demoing a game, you're not showing a certain aspect, people will just assume it's not there, which was pretty surprising to us.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, because it's all about presentation.
Yeah.
And Yeah, now that I think about it, wasn't Cape Juno like that was just one dungeon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Cape Juno was a good one because it showed an outdoor town-like location, so people understood that, oh, this is an RPG. But when you have this weird labyrinthine location that has these weird surreal visuals, and I think it would make sense why someone would assume the game would be like a Metroidvania or something if they saw just that portion of it.
How many people walked up and said, "Hey, this reminds me of Earthbound"?
Well, none then. It was very tricky for us to explain to people that it was an RPG. And at PlayStation Experience, there were a lot of people who were not core gamers. So like if you said RPG, they didn't understand what it was. And then we'd be like, "Oh, it's like Pokemon." And then like, "Oh, so there's like creatures you collect?" And we're like, "No, it has turn-based battles." And we're like, "What's a turn-based battle?" It was pretty weird.
That
It
is
was,
really
but they were also
weird.
day drinking too, which was.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I drink and I don't forget everything I know about video games. So
That's true.
it's just,
Brian's being generous. It was very bizarre.
yeah,
It was
no,
definitely-
I understand.
Definitely bizarre. It was a good experience though.
I certainly won't say anything negative about any potential business prospects. Nope,
Yeah,
not on this, not
actually-
on this stream.
Robin makes a good point. Rory is actually much more useful in battle. So now, instead of just being someone who takes damage, they can now deal damage by the enemy feeling shame for attacking a non-violent person. So they take shame damage now. So Rory is much more useful. Rory also protects the entire party instead of just one person now. So
Isn't it like no, it's not random. I remember doing the sewer last time. And I think, like you said, he kind of just takes hits the whole time. So
yeah, so now the enemy will always take damage from attacking Rory, which just makes him so much more useful.
how the hell do I get up there?
You go to those chests.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's the whole thing. You have to return to the dungeon to do it.
Don't worry about it.
You can't get it on your first playthrough of it.
First
I
play.
don't think. Actually, go through that window there. Maybe you can. I don't remember.
I think that window will bring you back where the other windows bring you now, but you can come back here later.
Shit.
Oh yeah, all roads lead to Sammy now.
I'm gonna look up a picture real quick because that tree really reminds me of another game. Of course, the game freezes. You can't even search up a picture. All video games are finicky when you're streaming. Okay. This won't take too long. And this is just a funny coincidence because this is another like really underknown indie game. Don't. Well, shit, I can't find it. There's a game called Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, and it starts off like in front of a tree that's like a. It doesn't look just like that or anything. It just has an interesting design, a lot like that. And I just thought it was funny because I played both of those, this and that, in the same year, and they're both really good experiences.
I don't know the game, but I will have to look it up.
I only heard about Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass recently because somebody compared the style I wrote, a new track for the game, and to the music from that game. So I looked it up, and it looks really cool. I'll definitely check it out at some point.
Oh yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to the dev. Having done all that by himself, man, it's an RPG maker game, but you know, it's good.
Who's there? Great.
I couldn't get him on the podcast either. He was nervous about it.
No, please stay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who wisely don't go on podcasts. Some people are really stupid and they go on comedy podcasts and they make jokes and it ruins their life. So I can see why someone wouldn't do that.
It's okay. We tried to put a band-aid on it.
We tried. It didn't really work. We tried though.
A few band-aids.
Is there anywhere else?
Yeah.
Well, some people had reasons to go on such podcasts in the first place, but you know.
Looks like Dolly.
True.
Not
I I kind of want to go back and
My cat has a
listen to
beautiful
that. That was
mustache
just a
and perfect
weird
eyes.
episode.
I can't imagine we're talking
I won't
about the
say
same
exact.
cat.
I won't say what the podcast was, but it sure was funny. You
What's
should,
wrong?
you know, if you're interested, go
I
figure
don't
it
have
out.
to help. I just thought you
Oh, I
could
found
use
the
your cat
the
having
tree.
eyes.
Yeah. Oh, this
It's not
is cool
that.
looking.
It's okay.
Sort of.
Hey, now that's lame.
At least it sticks
Just-
out of my head
Anything, no
similarly.
judgment here.
It's a circular tree. It's got a little
Hey, I'm
spinniness to it.
serious. I didn't mean anything.
That game
by
is kind of like,
It's not
at least
you.
art-wise, it was.
That wasn't fair of me.
How do I put this? It's
It's
like
just-
off Earthbound.
Okay,
Sounds like a fair deal.
I'm Sam.
It's not
Mm.
quite,
But
but it's definitely
Please call me
inspired.
Sam.
It reminds me of
I trust
Earthbound
you.
mixed with some.
Yes,
I
always
feel like
had a special spot for gingers.
I want to say it's a Sega
Hey,
game, but I can't
careful.
remember
do you
what
mean,
it is.
our word?
Oh, see, now I'm
Weird.
thinking about
It
it.
reminds me of something.
Lame joke.
I don't know.
Let's just look for the cat.
Speaking of Sega RPGs, there actually are a pretty good amount of those.
Sega's my blind spot when it comes to RPGs.
Well, there's not a whole lot of well-known ones. It's really just Phantasy Star, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Phantasy Star is the big one that everyone knows, I think. I
I
do believe there's a couple more that I'm starting to. I've never played any of them. But...
there's like a Zelda-like called Beyond Oasis. That one's pretty.
Oh
cool.
yeah, that does look cool.
Okay, I was supposed to do this here, not there. Do I touch the painting? I don't. Yes.
Yes.
This is a pretty cool part.
This was when me and Brian were pretty sleep deprived and we were trying to finish the game and we were remaking this dungeon. So basically, August of 2016, we had called the game complete and we were having people play through it and then we were going to release it. But what happened was the beta testers all hated it. They hated all the dungeons. They said the towns were way too big. They said everything took way too long to walk through. So me and Brian made the pretty radical decision to remake all the dungeons.
Oh, I should
It's
probably tell
a
you about
real
Dolly.
uncomfortable game.
Dolly
Sorry.
is a tool, much like your
listening.
stuffed panda friend. Use Dolly to fetch
Also try not
items
to
and hit
ignore
switches
chat.
that are too far away for you to reach. Dolly can jump, so don't worry about her falling down any gaps. This will be
Who's,
useful, so
who's
make sure
Evan?
you try it.
I,
Okay, so shall we
I
get
don't
out
know
of
who
here?
that is.
is that the
Sorry
person who
about
made
my
Jimmy in a
house.
pulsating
I've been
mass?
meaning to
Maybe?
get someone in
No,
here to fix the
that's,
power, but who has the time
Casey,
for that? I
Casey
get so
Azumi.
busy that little things like that get away from me. But that's normal, isn't it? You get used to the
But yeah, so we
It's
remade
confusing for
most of the
guests.
dungeons. We kept
My
some of the
mother used to have everyone
puzzles.
take their shoes off
Um,
in the
The
kitchen
only
and
dungeon
use
like we
that.
didn't really remake
Oh,
was
no, I've
Bella's
become my
dungeon
mother.
because
Oh,
that had been
goodness,
one
then
that
I should
me and
open
Brian
it
had
up.
worked on together, and
I've got a
it
roommate.
was the only
His
one
name
that
is
people
Bill
liked.
Hill.
Everyone was like, more of this.
Yeah,
So-
that was a good
Yeah,
one.
I mean they definitely weren't wrong.
Right.
I definitely
They
felt
weren't, yeah,
that,
they weren't wrong about any of the criticism. Everything they said about the game was true. Everything was too spaced out. The dungeons were way too big, and they were ugly. There was like no visual flair to any of them. So
yeah.
we remade all of them in by the end of 2017, we had remade all the dungeons. And then it took us like another year to test the game and get it back into a fully stable place.
Yeah, if I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't touch dungeons for a long time until after the core game engine was completed.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
put
It's
me
hard
that-
to know what you need until you need it though, so that's kind of a hard thing to say with absolute
We were-
certainty.
We were also we made a pretty big amateur mistake too, where we all started working at the same time. So because Ian was going to be our level designer, he needed to start making stuff right away. But he didn't really know Unity and he didn't really know 3D, and Brian hadn't made any assets yet. So, he tried his best. But really, if we had focused on just the core gameplay first, nailed the battle mode, instead of trying to do everything at the same time, the game would have been much stronger.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not that's a mistake we definitely learned from.
Yeah, maybe we should have been a little bit more waterfall in our approach.
Yeah. But it's tricky because everyone was excited to start working on the game, and we felt like, Ian
What
wanted
the
to
fuck?
quit his job right away and start working with us. So
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, why did that happen? That was weird.
I don't know. Hope it doesn't happen again.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're watching. Like, please no.
Okay.
Robin says, He worked on Mother to Earth and runs multiple Kickstarters. I'm not aware of what that is, Mother to Earth.
I
But
don't
it
know.
sounds Earthbound related. Earthbound adjacent. That's my political leaning, I think.
I feel like the name is in my head somewhere recently, but I'm not.
Are you
calling it at the
left of Earthbound or right of Earthbound?
No comment.
That should be the. Yeah, of course. Definitely never comment on that.
Just no Earthbound adjacent. It is, not to get too into it, but that is kind of funny how everyone just has this built-in litmus test in their brain at this point for just everybody. It's like, alright.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been trained for it. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah. I don't know if you can tell I'm a little more loose on this channel, so totally up to you what you say.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind
I'm
of
not
just,
gonna.
yeah,
I won't say anything. I wouldn't say. You know,
to,
I don't.
to your
I
mother,
don't.
of course, yeah, don't,
Yeah.
upset. Don't want to say any naughty words. Okay, but yeah, I don't, I'll have to look that Mother to Earth thing up. Damn it. This analog stick is super finicky. On the bright side, he doesn't move, like even if I'm holding it after Dolly goes out, so.
I feel like analog sticks used to be better, and I'm not 100% sure I'm right about that, but
I'm not either. I don't know.
I feel like I remember tiptoeing in Mario 64. I feel like I can't tiptoe in any game anymore.
It's either they used to be better or we're just old now, and it's just an unfortunate reality. I guess I'll buy some cheeseburgers. I got a good bit of money here. One second. I see Discord stuff. And I hear typing. Oh yeah, there's that tree. Okay, so I was a little off. It had like blue leaves.
They're both whimsical. I put them,
Yeah,
put them in the whimsical category.
I think it's a very striking graphic. I think it's a good opening shot for a game, especially with like the sunset behind it. Very nice.
That game is I can't really say that without spoiling anything.
I'm sure I'll play it one day. So
It's very emotional. It's a very emotional game.
nice.
That's kind of the best way I can put it.
Word.
He did a pretty good job making you want to do everything in the game. So, except for the fact that the game is hard as balls. So if you play it, probably just play it on easy actually, because I had to switch halfway through.
Oh, okay.
They have some very
At
difficult.
least it
So-
lets you switch.
Surprise Round RPG says, so I haven't been here long, so I don't know if you touched on this already. Do you guys think the game is in a good place right now? I think it's in the best state it's ever been publicly. I think you know, we're still working hard to, you know, touch up little bugs here and there, but I think that if you were ever going to play it, now would be the time to do it. And then you know, later this spring we're going to have a whole bunch of new story content we're adding to the game. Which is going to be really cool. So if it's the kind of thing that interests you, you know, now would be a good time to jump into it because the story content requires New Game Plus.
Yeah,
You know, we're still listening to feedback, so like we're gonna continue to improve it here and there. I mean, we're not gonna do anything as major as the stuff we've done already, as our focus is going to be on finishing up the story content so we can put out the physical release. So we do have like a point where we're going to stop adding to the game. So our plan is to be wrapped up by April.
Oh yeah, I forgot it wasn't technically like done.
Well, you know,
Definitely
the
feels like it though.
1.5 is basically free DLC.
I think I know what's causing this little issue. I don't know if it yeah, you can see it on stream.
Oh,
It kinda
I think
cuts off. I think it's just a resolution thing.
there's a patch coming for this in the next update, where the text box is off like that.
Okay.
And I think it has to do with the aspect ratio that you're playing in.
Right. Unfortunately, for some reason I have, in some games I just have this problem where if it's in full screen for some reason OBS just won't pick it up. I don't know why that is.
It's just weird.
Games are finicky. That's just
So
or OBS
Robin,
is finicky.
Robin says their only bit of feedback is they think Wilhelm should have more dialogue. Yeah, it's a tricky balancing act because every bit of dialogue we write, we do have to get localized, and the localizer who did the game is really sought after now. Her career has really blown up, especially because she did localize Undertale, which made her extremely sought after.
Oh wow.
So we always have to make sure that any dialogue we add to the game is respectful of her time, and that it doesn't cause a delay with the Japanese audience getting the new story content. Also, Wilhelm is supposed to be a little bit confusing. Like, her roommate is a robot, and it's a killer robot who won't let her leave the house. And the question is supposed to be, well, how much of this is a story that Sammy is telling herself, or how much of it is either a delusion or maybe an excuse for the current living situation. So, any dialogue would have to be in service of that, but it would alter the tone of how the scene currently feels. So those are basically the biggest reasons why we haven't added a bunch of dialogue to this scenario.
Also,
And
it'd probably require him to not die and be somewhere else in the story, and he
could
doesn't
speak
do much.
before battle, or
Yeah, like, it kind of just is what it is, you know. Like, it's kind of just part of game design, really. You're gonna have characters that just gonna show up and, do this. That's just it. I will say I probably need to add some more dialogue in the demo script. I'm thinking about it. Okay, I think this fight is a lot easier now that she can resist the laser.
yes.
Oh, actually, I'm playing on easy too, so oops, I forgot. I don't remember. It always does 2 damage, right? On both difficulties.
I don't remember that kind of thing off the top of my head.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so Surprise Round RPG says, that's interesting. I never considered that aspect of adding additional dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as soon as you're supporting multiple regions, it makes adding to the game very complex, especially adding things like items, because each item then needs to have a new item definition.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, once again, test everything twice. So, like, we're finishing up the Switch version of this patch now. And, we noticed 1 or 2 little discrepancies when we play it in Japanese, which is basically why you have to play it multiple times. So additional languages always add significant amounts of work.
Yeah,
it's why we so far have not gone hog wild on the languages. There just isn't enough of us to go around at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we get emails all the time from localization companies who want to bring it to a certain region or something, but at this point, we kind of have to do a cost-benefit analysis of, will we actually see the return on our time investment, especially with, all the other stuff we have going on. We have some contract work that we're also also dealing with. We have the Two Brothers project as well, so it's, as much as I would just love to just work on Y2K all the time and just continue to add to it, there comes a certain point where you have to be like, no, this is as much as you can do, and if you want to do something else, you should make a new game, basically.
Make Y3K.
Y3K. Yeah, we were talking about that in the YiiK Court earlier. Like, I don't really see a lot of I don't really see it likely that we would make a sequel. I mean, like, maybe if, like, in a few years the game's fall, like, because the game has been profitable and the game has done well for us financially, but there isn't exactly, like, a great public sentiment around it still, and a lot of Y2K fans are kind of afraid to be vocal about it, especially because they tend to get hate on Twitter if they try. So,
into a different
like
reality.
the idea of going to an investor to try and get a couple $100,000 to make a sequel,
All I
Right.
could do was replay the
it's
same
not super
routine all that
realistic.
I once
Whereas
did.
proposing a new game that avoids the pitfalls of Y2K it's much easier to get finance for. Especially because video games are very expensive to make, especially something that's going to be on consoles, and it would will probably be another 3D game.
Yeah, not to spoil the ending for anybody watching, but it did definitely kind of give me the impression that like that's just kind of that's it, you know.
Yeah, I mean it was written to be a self-contained story. I mean, if you check out the short story that I wrote for the Y2K concept album, um, we do have ideas about what the greater Y2K universe would be like. So if that's the kind of thing that interests someone, they can always check that. Robin says, something I like a lot is the way various motifs are used across different tracks in the game. It took me a while to realize that the opera track that plays in the scenes with the Essentia is in the tune of puzzle pieces. Yeah, so that motif is the Essentia's theme, but if you pay close attention, the B theme of the Machine and the Crow, which is Alex's theme, is actually a variation on the Essentia's theme, and they're written so both themes can be played over each other. And I never do it in the game on purpose, but it was meant to be that you could take Alex's theme and it would work superimposed on top of the Essentia melody. So those are like the two core main melodies in the game: the puzzle piece theme, and then the
It's a pretty fancy design though.
Surprise Round RPG says Two Brothers Project. Yeah, we made a game a few years ago called Two Brothers, which for a while we've wanted to re-release with some bug fixes, and that's something that we're working on now. And it's going to come out for free. We're hoping to release it, if everything goes well, later this year. We just have to make sure we give enough breathing space between the physical of Y2K and Two Brothers as well.
I'm not gonna fight that stop sign this time. I think. I always go for
Oh yeah,
it.
I would come back later.
Yeah.
Or
I've done
never.
it- I've done it twice and paid daily for it. So.
If I can get my keyboard
I honestly always forget that it shows up
to
this
be
early.
recognized while I have Discord open, I can show what I mean about that.
Excuse me.
Can you hear the piano?
I cannot.
I think I only heard the keys, but not the actual.
Okay, I heard that. Yeah. I think we're good to just...
So, the B
When
theme
I arrived
of
home,
Machine and the Crow.
tired, my mother still wasn't home yet. And whilst my
Actually,
I think it's
let
cutting
me
the
turn
audio out,
short,
like it thinks you're not
redheaded woman was
speaking.
an information systems programmer analyst.
Well, I actually have to do that in the
West
game.
That
Coast
could be
job,
played
located
over.
on the- Without it, my sister and I would have never gotten through college.
Oh yeah, Brian's right. It is kind of cutting a little bit.
It uses the same notes. It's the same descending sixth interval, followed by the fifth interval. So, it's meant to work that way.
Onism. It's a cool name for a website. I kind of miss these websites, to be honest.
Oh yeah, there's something great about like those GeoCities style.
Felt organic, not corporate. Good times.
Yeah, there's something so fun about that old sort of like homemade internet aesthetic that just doesn't really exist anymore.
You can kind of find it here and there, but yeah, it's basically dead now.
Yeah, I feel like mostly Facebook's a lot of that.
Yeah, because it used to be that, if you wanted to share family pictures, you had to make like a website for your family, and it'd be like some like fun dad who'd be running their family website in the 90s, and then
Right,
Facebook
and no one was a
for that.
designer, so they just did whatever came natural to them.
Yeah.
That was kind of a cool thing about web design. I took one semester in high school because I was kind of interested. And yeah, you pretty much just, once you know how to do it, you can just put whatever you want, more or less, on, I guess, Notepad, and it makes it, and you upload that into a website. It's pretty cool.
That doesn't work with me. I don't let you get away with letting things slop.
Okay, fine.
Just don't use Dreamweaver, it's trash.
Why didn't you
Oh,
Yeah.
Dreamweaver is the most bloated piece of shit program.
I wonder if it still is. I haven't touched it in a long time.
I have no
If
idea.
it's
I
still
don't
a
know,
thing.
like, which of wasn't that part of Flash? I think it was.
I don't think it was.
I think it supported like Flash elements, but it mostly was generating HTML on the back end, I think. Does it still exist, Dreamweaver, I wonder?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I remember GeoCities. They had a cool page builder.
It's a great name, though. Dreamweaver is an excellent name for a piece
That's
of
true.
software.
It'd be an excellent name for almost anything.
It'd be an even
It
better
looks-
name if it was better at weaving dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it exists still. And it looks more like Photoshop now, which is kind of funny.
Okay, we need like Nightmare Weaver.
Nightmare Weaver.
Yeah, so another thing was I replaced the music in this scene. It's different now. And there were a few places in the game where for 1.25, I wrote new music for. Like, I replaced the song Years to Come, which is the one that the one with vocals during running from the entity, which you're about to come across. It was like, it was I have nostalgia for the song because it was something that we made for the original prototype, but it wasn't really written for that sequence, and it was kind of like a sunk cost fallacy thing where we felt like we needed to use the song, so we kind of just used it there. But it didn't really serve the tone that we wanted, and I think it was probably pretty polar. It was definitely a really polarizing track. It was written by Tony Manfredonia, and the version in the game, the remix of it was done by me and Jose. We did the instrumentals to be more like rock centric, whereas it sounded a little bit more like Coldplay in the original version, which is something I kind of have an aversion to. So we tried to make it rock a little harder, but ultimately, it was like a major second too high for Nico's voice. But when we sent it to Nico, there wasn't a lot of time for us to rewrite the instrumental. So he did his best with it, and he sounded really great when he did it. But he never felt that he was able to do the performance he wanted on that track. So I was happy to replace it with something that fit the tone I wanted more for that scene.
Did you move that song to another part of the game, or you just kind
No, I just removed it, took it out of the game.
Okay. So real quick, it's been a while since I've played. Were those little flashes of Sammy always there?
Yeah, they were always there.
Okay. I think I missed it the first time I played too. Because I was reading the text.
Yeah, it's definitely something that people don't notice. And there's actually a little sound effect that plays when she appears as well, which is intentionally mixed low, so it's better on headphones.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to hear it with this in the game.
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay.
And then there's like a few other places I wrote new music for, like the battle with Vela. A bunch of people told me that they didn't feel that it fit her character, so I made something that I thought fit her aesthetic more.
This song in particular is an earworm.
This one was one of the last ones I wrote. It was probably like maybe a month before we shipped the game.
Yeah, I just...
The other...
go ahead, sorry.
Just the other... Like, we had like 3 different versions throughout the project, and they were all just too sleepy for the vibe we wanted, so we wanted it to be a lot more inviting.
I'm so glad that's there.
Alex? You grew a beard?
if I'm not mistaken,
As the young man got closer,
it's kind of throughout the game, but there's little hints here and
his
there
name was
that
Michael.
reality is like shifting and breaking down and stuff.
Usually worth a laugh or two.
I don't know if the
Yeah.
beard line was or not, but it seemed like it could have been.
You're supposed to be made
But I knew it was
supposed to feel very curious as to this interaction with between Alex and Michael, especially as the game goes on. There's a question as to when the last time they actually saw each other, and how long have they really gone without seeing each other.
What do you think you did? I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
So Robin
Got it.
said
Comfortable it was to sit
9-6
at the edge of my
battle
seat.
greater than
Something
Into the
on
Mind. Well, Into the Mind is sort of like remix of the 6-8 battle theme. It was like so. When Toby made that track, I sent him all the themes that I had written for the game, like what different character themes to incorporate, and I asked him to incorporate the Ascension melody. So he took the intro from 6-8 battle and used that as the intro to
Okay, Chloe's
Into
here.
the Mind.
Wow, that
I
sounds
was like, what's
awesome.
that noise?
Hey, have you
Oh,
ever heard
hi.
of Urban Exploration?
Hey, Chloe.
There's this great
Sorry, I'm
website
late.
called
This is the no, that's fine. This is the speedrunner,
I think you'd really get
one
a
of
kick out
a
it.
handful
These guys
for this
break
game.
into old buildings and take photos.
The
She
original
gives her
speedrunner.
knowledge on all of that.
Urban legend behind them,
Yes,
or
I am.
ghost
I am the
story.
OG.
Most of the stuff is legit.
OG speedrunner.
Pretty damn-
Did you say Autism 1999? Someone sent me a video.
I might be the OG speedrunner.
So,
I don't want to brag.
It's like a
Alright,
conspiracy
I don't think it counts
report.
when it's your own game.
Yeah.
I'll be back in like a couple of minutes. I want to put this on autoplay
Stuff like that.
real quick.
Yeah, they can play for you. Or you might have to click the button first.
Damn it, I did it wrong.
You don't look so good, dude. Everything okay?
It's something from that
I will
dream.
also be right back
It's
after
been
this.
screwing with my brain.
What exactly did you see on there that has you so freaked out?
I will be right here, talking
I
to
don't know
myself.
if you saw it or not. It was the one with the girl in the elevator, the one who gets lifted off the ground.
That was supposed to be filmed locally. I couldn't bring myself to watch it, but all those sick bastards made the gif of her being thrown around like a rag doll. Poor girl. After that went up, everyone on the
Oh, so
forum
how are you
said
guys
it was
doing?
Strange, like a sort of darkness had come
I'm
over
doing
the
all right
site.
myself.
It was the
How about
first
you?
time something like that had been posted, but people weren't immediately calling it
I'm
fake.
okay.
Something about the look of horror.
That's
on her
good.
face.
Hoping to get an actual
sick part of
dev
people that
percent
want it to
run
be real,
tomorrow,
you know?
so that'll be up on the leaderboard and we'll have a new run.
Michael,
Ooh, nice.
when I first got to town and I saw that,
I am hoping the Essentia dungeon does not fuck me over as much as it normally does.
I will pray for you.
myself to say it. There was
Yeah,
something
those
Have you-
puzzles always
almost
do my head in when I have to go back in and test it. I'm like,
Oh.
God,
like in that moment of her disappearance.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
It was from my eyes
Have
only.
you
No,
had a
no,
chance?
no.
Her memory was from my thoughts only.
Have you had a chance to see any of the runs yet?
I needed to talk to
Not
someone
yet.
about the situation.
Okay,
So I
Def
proceeded
check them
with
out
caution.
because the other guys that are running the game now, I had zero idea Panda was as broken as he was.
And I swear,
Like,
the elevator
Jesus.
in there was the same
I'll have to
one
watch.
as
I'm
the
afraid it'll give you a panic attack.
Let me look into Chloe's audio.
You might not want me watching them because I might like end up going, ooh, that's a bug. I gotta fix that.
Chloe, you mind saying
But-
something for me real quick?
YiiK is a good video game.
Okay.
Nice.
Surprise round RPG. Thanks for letting me know about that. Let me know if she sounds any better. That's better. Okay, good.
I know that sounds weird, but I really
Great.
think that video was filmed there.
Man, I feel like I'm back in the YiiK.
Okay, let's check it out
Yick,
then.
yick, yick.
What?
Yick.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Gang.
Do you mind if we run to the camera shop in Frankton? I was getting my camera repaired. If we go in, I'm gonna want to take pictures.
But yeah, sure.
The building besides.
Yeah.
I literally just let it play to have something going while I was gone. I'm not gonna read most of this. Because I've read it a bunch of times already. Besides, if anyone's watching, if you're really interested, you should just play it yourself. You should
That's awesome.
spend $20
Wow.
or whatever it is right now and play it.
They opened it about 3 weeks
It's
ago,
also
waiting
it's
until
on
they
Game
fixed
Pass
my
now,
camera
and
so I
it's
could get some
frequently
great
on sale.
photos
Our
and clips.
publisher
I hear
tends
they have a
to
bunch of import games.
discount the games
Import
pretty
games.
frequently.
From
So
where?
It is on Game Pass.
Japan,
I
most
totally
part,
forgot
like,
about
Yeah,
that.
I don't usually know when, but I'm delighted to see
Well,
it whenever
at
I
least the
do.
good ones are.
yeah, no one
There
ever
are
tells
some
us anything.
RTS on PC I've been
Oh,
playing.
also Game Pass does have a $1 like month-long free trial, so there's that.
RPG games
I thought
are
it was
seriously
3
the
cool.
Chrono Trigger,
Is it just
Lufia
1 month?
2, Secret of Mana.
I think it's just
Those
1 month.
games are like the whole.
Okay.
Seriously, don't think I'd be the
Pretty
person
awesome,
that ever
actually.
played Two
Honestly,
Brothers.
Game Pass is
That's a sort of ARPG, although
it's pretty
its
worth it
focus
if
really
you're an
is
avid
on
gamer.
combat. Two Brothers? Nope.
Especially for Sea of
That's a
Thieves if you have
terrible
some
name
friends.
for a game,
Man, that
though.
game is fun.
Sounds like a diner or a pizza plate. Anyway,
I keep hearing that. I have
let's hit
to
up the
try
arcade
it.
really quick after we get your camera, and
Get
then
gang
head
on
over to
Sea
the
of Thieves.
Let's
go.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see.
Grease and
Let's
VO.
go.
Our friend Wilfred is always trying to get us to play, so we have to eventually.
Yeah, it's super fun and really goofy, and so it's just you can't really ever get mad at it. You also don't really, from what I know of the game anyway, you don't ever really like just lose anything you've worked for, because the gameplay loop is pretty much accept missions, go do missions. Sometimes you get treasure at the missions, turn in treasure at the main island. And if you lose the treasure, it's no big deal. You just start over. And you don't have any like level up system or anything. Everyone is on a level playing field, so all you really have to learn is kind of those mechanics and how to drive the ship. That's it. That last part's kind of the hard part.
Yeah, I've seen some Let's Plays of it, and it looks like it's like pretty intensive, but it does look really cool.
It's a lot of fun with the crew.
Plus, my computer is pretty good, so it would be nice to like have an excuse to play a really graphically intensive game.
And that game is honestly like outside of some of the like the character design, everything else is beautiful. You got some ugly pirates in that game, on purpose, I'm sure.
It had pretty good water, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, the
really
water's
good water.
beautiful.
Really good water. You like the game? It's got really good water. 10 out of 10.
Can't discount good water.
Cannot.
But if you have too much water, you also lose points.
I'd
for
say as we're walking past like the worst river in the game.
that.
I've gotta whip my Discord server into shape. When I hit tag at gamer, you bitches better respond. Play with me. No, it's funny. There's this other server that I'm always playing with people on. We're doing like Jackbox and stuff, and I was like, how is it that I've met like a couple of the people in my server in real life, and we barely play anything online, but these other strangers I've never ever met. Like we're good to go. It's funny. Speaking of which, anyone watching, you should definitely join the B+ server. Trying to grow a community, so it's a fun place. We got a meme channel, so I mean that's really all you need for a server, right?
Pretty much what they are, right?
Okay. Hey, maybe I should like. I'm not reading anything. I'm just. I'm just.
You're on
going off.
autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen.
Robin asked if we saw the Sans in Y2K edit. No, I didn't.
I did not.
That sounds horrible.
That does sound horrible.
It's actually not awful. That's the weird part.
I'm just sick of the
I'm
Sams.
sure
I mean,
it's fun.
or Sans. Like that thing has been done to death. Hey, there's $1 on the ground. I want to pick that up.
Yes! Wow!
I don't think I've
I don't know. What do you think she is?
That's
I know.
Bella. She's perpetually angry.
Whatever. Let's come back here later.
That's true
Let's
for,
go to
like,
the factory.
A good bit of the beginning of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1.
I mean, look at the losers she has to hang out with, though, so
No, I agree with that.
don't blame her.
Have you seen Alex's beard? It's awful. Yeah, good idea. That's what I should do. do dialogue. Check hint. It's a good way to speedrun when you haven't played in a while.
Well, now I've seen the Y2K Sans picture.
Eh? Oh. You know what? Let's take.
Now I've seen everything.
Let's take a look at it. Why not? Well then.
Someone needs to there was a drawing I did a while back. It was the one where Alex doing the like hands behind his head pose, and it's Gamma saying, "I think," or something. Draw that, but like in the art style for the game.
Oh man. Can I do this? I don't think I can do this. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll just go back to the game. It's fine. I was gonna put it on the screen, but I can't do it quick enough. I'm not quick enough. I don't like that.
It looks exactly like you think it does. So.
Yeah, yeah. They just made him like a character portrait. Honestly, I mean, spot on with the style though.
Yeah, it's a pretty good style match, I will say.
Good on them. Zelda has been playing for 1 hour and 3 minutes. Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear this song. As Robin says, it has no right to look as good as it does. I agree. Especially since the Sans meme is in meme years, it's like 500,000 years old. So, who is this character on the sides? Is that from Two Brothers as well, or what is that?
Yeah, it's inspired by like the statues that are in that game.
Ah, okay. I'm guessing the purpose of having the couple of areas from Two Brothers. I don't know if it's from Two Brothers or not, but I'm guessing the point of that was just to point another clue about, you know, universes. I actually really like this battle scene. It's really cool. So you can't beat this thing, so you just run. Speaking of which, I'm terrible at this. Or I used to be terrible at it. Yay me. Yay me!
You got it.
That scene actually kind of freaked me out the first time I did it. I was like, bro, it's following me. No, no.
See, until my boyfriend, like literally 2 weeks ago, pointed that out to me, I didn't know it could follow you. Cause as soon as I like got out of the fight, I just.
It used to follow you up this very elaborate like spiral that you just have to go down into to find it in the first place. Sounds cool conceptually, but was actually just a pain and didn't look that good.
So what now? I'm gonna go.
Was that part of the part of the?
That was part of like the very early game, I would say. It definitely didn't make it.
I do really like these new chapter titles, though. Those are really cool.
Once again,
They are really cool.
I'd left the old, and once again,
It kind of helps bring it together, I guess. And I am really liking this version with the like more of the monologues cut out. It just feels a bit more natural. Granted, that's coming from the guy who's not reading half of them, but the couple that you pointed out definitely seem to work a little bit better. Go back home, it's safer. Nah, man, there's a stop sign next to our house. Oh, whoops, wrong way. I thought I was on the right side of town.
Surprise round RPG compliments Michael's voice acting. Yeah, Cliff is awesome. Cliff Chapin, voice actor of Michael. He was super fun to work with, really nice, and look forward to getting to do more stuff with him in the future.
Seemed like he had a pretty good team there.
Yeah, all the voice actors were they were just a lot of fun, just really cool, and a lot of them have gone on to do such wonderful things. Like Cliff is Bakugo in My Hero Academia.
Really?
He has a
Yeah,
6-year-old
so
daughter.
he's killing it.
Really
Apparently,
cool.
she told my cousin that when she
Speaking
looked
of
in the
VA,
Also,
mirror,
it came up
she was
later,
smiling,
but the guy who
but that she knew she wasn't smiling.
Go ahead, Chloe.
When I thought
Fuck.
about that,
it's the names of
I
characters
knew it
shit.
would destroy any respect
Claudio.
I had for the
Yeah,
rules of
he
the
voices
game.
Barrett in Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged
As
from
to
Team
what he
4
said,
Star.
he just shrugged his
Really?
Yes, he does.
shoulders.
Anthony Sardinia. Yeah, Anthony was awesome. Flew in from Canada to work on the game. Michaela Laws, who does Chandra, she flew in from Chicago. So we brought everyone to New Jersey to be in the studio with us, so they could all do the voice acting together. And I think the scenes that really work in the game work especially well because they were all in the room together.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I didn't really think about that until this other podcast I did, where I was basically just playing games and then we would get on and talk about them. And one of those games was Zone of the Enders 2, and I remember loving that game so much as a kid. And it's still, gameplay-wise, it still mostly holds up. But
Have fun, Robin.
do what? Oh,
Sorry, I was just
see you later,
answering a
Robin.
comment.
Followed a cat into the abandoned factory.
Gonna get high and play YiiK on Switch.
Sounds like a good time.
Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, the voice acting in that game, it's not bad because of the actors. I think it's bad because of how they directed it. Because it sounds like people who are not talking to each other.
Yeah, and I think back then too, especially, like a lot of, they didn't even hear the previous line read. Like not only were they not in the room, but they don't even know what the other guy sounded like, or they
So
could
they
hear
had to
nobody's
guess.
inflection.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And that kind of,
Did she tell you that much?
I think that kind of brings me
Maybe we
back
can check
to
online for a
FF10
missing
actually.
persons report. You could call the police
I
and
think
let them know
that's
where the
actually
video
how
was
they did
taken.
that one. Like they didn't, I don't think they had them in the same room or anything, but it worked well enough somehow.
What, that you dreamed it? Dude, I don't know.
Except
That
for
would be
ha
a
ha ha.
pretty so you think you went
It
into the
did.
factory,
That game
came
gets
home,
dunked on a lot for voice acting, probably unfairly.
met a missing girl you
It's not
hadn't seen
bad,
before?
really.
But you see,
Yuna's voice is a bit.
look like the girl in the video.
She could have probably
There was
been
something
a bit more
skeletal about her
emotive,
appearance.
but other than
The
that,
thing is about Yuna's voice is they're trying so hard to sound like the Japanese voice actress, but like, certain deliveries work in Japanese because of how the language works, but they don't sound like they're emotional in English if you do it that way.
Well, that was the other thing too, is like they tried to match like the mouth reading as well, and also how long a line took in Japanese. They had to cram all the English words in there. It definitely doesn't look like it was easy.
and I think nowadays they can kind of just edit the mouth movements around. The
Yeah,
script.
I think they think about it now.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. I'm gonna look this up later. Now I'm thinking about it, but I remember there being an interview with a voice actor saying that the guy who had like translated the script had given them, like he had said some reason for the narrative that they should still do feedback. And I'm not kidding.
Hey, Chloe, are you on your phone or what do you want? Okay. Check your, if you can, check your user settings and check your sensitivity and bring it like all the way down. Because you're cutting out a lot, and that's usually what the problem is people don't have their sensitivity down low enough. Most people just turn it all the way down. So.
Everyone on this forum wanted the content to be true. They needed it to be.
Okay, is that better?
A few people tried
Yeah,
to
much
explain
better,
why
I
the
think.
photos were distorted.
Okay.
Won't really know until you
Sorry, but-
start going off on a tangent, but
Or the devil. or
That's
other
why I
stupid
added
things
the I
like
think.
that. I considered myself something of a. I know
That's
now
good,
that
probably.
every person who tells you about spirituality, dead people and
speaking
all
of which, we
that
got we got a
have no
speedrunner.
idea what they're talking about.
Not dropping any speedrunning knowledge.
Someone told a lie. and it
Drop some
somehow
fire.
stuck. I told the truth, with the exception of it wasn't
If you got any, I mean,
exactly my post.
not
When a
put
user
you on the
posted
spot.
something about a girl who could rip holes in
Shit,
time and
sorry.
space. I wouldn't have believed it myself. But
The way I speedrun the game is with the dev tool that's behind the tree and out in the front of Alex's house. That makes the game very fast. And I originally thought that like the speedrun was going to be like 7 hours long without it, but I just like looked at the times, and the current records for both the first ending and the KNN ending are like 3.5 hours and 2.5 hours. That and
Oh, of all
Panda,
the
you
units, wait till
can
you go to
basically
college.
just fly with Panda.
Boring
It's
and
weird.
fat
Like
the rest of your
the-
grade.
Oh, so I'm
the
still in the
puzzle-
running. That's
I'm
good.
looking forward to. In the
Yeah.
meantime, I will
So-
continue to be my interesting, slim,
okay,
nubile
so
self.
after you get in, like the factory hotel for the first time, and you do that first puzzle with
Anyway,
like with
let's take
the
another
with the
look at
pyramid
those
with the giant eyeball.
Yeah.
So you can go up to
It's
like
just so
rightmost
unbelievable.
pillar, the last one that has
What
the
is
door you need to get up there
likelihood
with.
that this is a thing?
You can just Panda zip up.
It's incredibly unlikely.
Dude,
Panda
it's
Since
like
we've got nothing better to do, let's say we visit
basically it's this thing where for everyone who's watching, if you haven't heard, you find like a corner at all and get yourself not pushed up against it, but just enough room where if you were to use Panda, he lands on top of you. But I don't know what the game dev term would be for this, but Panda really wants to be on the ground, and even if it means going to do it, so Panda will push down as hard as and it sometimes will launch Alex super high up in the air. And if you're just like pushing like in the direction you need to, you can get on top of stuff. This is how I skipped like all of the mountain dungeon originally.
Okay. You are still breaking up a little bit though. Just a heads up.
Oh, sorry.
I see Discord numbers. Okay.
LP Toss does not one-shot everything anymore. That was one of the things that we changed.
It does not, but we have found something that is equally as broken.
Oh, good.
Yo, good.
So, using
great.
assist mode, because I originally thought the max you could get with assist mode per like hit with like Alex's record spins and stuff like that was like 30 damage or something. Some of the other guys like User and stuff, they're all telling me you can get upwards of 180 to 200 per hit.
I can imagine that, especially with story mode enabled.
Yeah.
But,
So, boss, we're killing bosses in like one turn, basically.
I told you to cut it out,
Excellent.
you age crap. And besides, aren't you the new bio?
Just a heads up. I did notice in that hint that
Listen here, boys.
arcade was
We
spelled
have
wrong.
a zero if you'd like to owe
Really?
some women.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
like
you
the
can
that's
card.
my list, and I will fix it tomorrow.
It's not.
Yeah, I
that.
just figured.
It's just we have this
Probably
photo
wouldn't know
of you
about
that
it.
You've been taking
I feel bad pointing these things out,
You guys are even more screwed up than I thought.
but at the same time, like
I'd say you'd be the
I
first
feel like I'd
person
want
thrown
people
out
to,
of
on
this
you know, if I was in that position.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, the thing is that there's a lot of text, and the IDE doesn't spell check any of it. Even though a lot of the text was written in programs that do have spell check, not all of it was, because we were in a rush.
As I
Better
can-
to know
I can
before it
imagine.
gets like stamped onto like a cartridge forever, right?
Yeah, that is a good trade-off of losing cartridges for the most part.
The reason, do I know why it's one-shot everything? The reason was, basically, people were complaining that the game was too difficult when it released, and we sort of did a panic patch where we fixed everything like that same day. Or it wasn't the same day, it was like maybe a few days after, because we were at a convention at the time, and we were trying to push as many like fixes as we could. But something in that fix basically completely broke LP Toss. And it was already kind of broken. So, yeah, I don't remember the specific mechanism, but I think there was just something about the numbers didn't scale correctly as you got into a higher level.
So what do you get for beating Bella?
You cannot beat her.
Oh, damn.
As of now, nothing.
'Cause I was thinking like, what if I just, had a bunch of cheeseburgers or something and slowly took her
That
life
wastes the
down.
time. She'll just heal herself.
Does she have an HP stop or?
Yeah, I think it stops at 1.
Okay.
Which I know it's unfair, but I didn't have time to
Well, I
come up
mean,
with a whole alternative.
I mean, think of it in the turn. Wait, what? I don't remember this.
Oh, this is new.
Okay, I like that.
Also, I still love the new song here.
Yeah, you cannot win that mini game either.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
The first time I did it, when I was testing the game for you guys, I thought I kind of thought it was broken for a second.
Oh yeah, I was afraid of that. I was trying to convey that it was like a humorous thing that you couldn't actually win. But like it was just sort of something you struggle in vain with. I'm hoping that it comes across that way.
It's pretty funny.
Oh no, no, now I know it does, and that's what I've been having to tell friends. But yeah.
But I mean, unfair, unwinnable fights are kind of just part and parcel in JRPGs.
Then why were you
Think of
taking
it like
photographs of
It's
people?
a tradition,
Vile
unfortunately.
or Venom.
Didn't
I
take
think his
the
name's
photos.
Venom in
Someone on the
Mega Man.
internet. If you'd stop.
No, it's Vile.
This website where people post.
Alright, is that in one of the X games?
I haven't done that.
It's
So I'm sure it's
Mega Man
no
X. It's the very first little intro area. Dude shows up in a big old mech suit, and you can't. You basically can't kill him. I think you can, but you have to be really good. But he has like a homing attack that you basically can't dodge. I don't remember if you can beat him or not, actually. But I've tried. Never gotten very close. Speaking of Mega Man, the ZX collection was on for sale on Switch the other day. Definitely recommend it. I never got to play those as a kid. That's not.
Oh yeah, they're cool.
Let's see. Was Chloe here for Sea of Thieves talk? Yeah, you were.
I joined in a little before that. I would love to play Sea of Thieves with you guys, but my computer sucks.
That sucks.
Good excuse. Solid.
It's okay. In a few years, they're all just going to be the same anyway. So.
The water looks too good. I can't play.
No. See, here's the thing, right? The reason I haven't been able to like do a full speedrun of YiiK yet is because my computer genuinely cannot run the game super well.
Oh no.
It's not exactly.
And my computer's only like 2 years old, so I'm like, well.
Remember when I
you
kicked
have?
your ass earlier? If you study the physical properties.
Where did you learn to do something like that?
Oh, years of private. So tell me more about this website.
Basically, it's a place.
Have you tried it at a low resolution?
Behind the old... what's your...
My name's Vela Wild.
Hey, bro?
I'm guessing
Okay.
you're.
Some days
Caveman,
I'm
and
just
this
stupid
is
because I have not
Ginger
tried that.
Boy.
Usually I go by Alex.
Oof.
It
Only
might
my
help
mom
speed
loves
it
to
up.
call me Ginger Boy.
Okay.
She
First
really
thing they're
gets
going to try
us.
right after this.
You really would.
Right.
Michael and I spent
Speedrunning is such an
the
interesting thing to me, but I don't feel confident that I could do it.
But I dated a girl in
Oh no,
college
that's
that we were
fine.
all made
And trust
of the
me, like,
same
see,
elements, not just on
I
a physical level,
I kind of
but
thought
on a
like the
metaphysical
speedrun was hard
level. She told me she
before the
believed everyone
update,
was, so
and
she
now that
said
I'm seeing
one
all the
versus
current
three,
strats,
all
I'm
matter
just
with
like,
one
I don't even know
object.
if I can speedrun it without using the dev tool.
We are all
And
the
those
same.
those times earlier
She
that you
said
gave
she
me, like
believes
two
our
and 3
souls are
hours,
cut in
that's
same
the new
section,
records,
and that
right?
unexpected feeling of familiarity.
The 3.5 hours is for the first ending, and 2.5 hours is for the KNN ending.
And I assume that's using the dev tool.
No,
Oh.
Did you
Wow.
I'm
manage
not-
to speak with
I
the entities?
they literally like I am the
entities.
current only runner that has any interest
Guess
in
you
doing
mean
that.
Star
Every
Wars.
other
Yes,
runner in
those are
the Discord who's been like
No.
who's showing up, I'm like, oh
We're
yeah,
too
here's
busy
how I used to
running
do it. And they're
for
like,
our
I don't want to do it that
lives.
way. I want to do it
Did
without
you
it.
try and take photographs of them?
They use the assist. That's how they're like one-shotting bosses with like 200 hits. But like besides that, they're just running the game like normally and using pandas at best.
Nice.
Surprise run RPG says speedrunning is all about self-improvement. If you can beat your own time, that's all that matters. Yeah,
That's
Yep.
probably a good way to look at it. That makes sense.
I definitely understand that. I mean, if I really wanted to, I guess I'd probably start with like FF9. That's the game I feel the most confident about.
I'd have to start with something short.
I entered into a dark place.
Yeah.
Hey, good run.
Go ahead.
While I
Sorry.
was there, I can't say what about their presence was so striking to
I don't-
me.
So
But the
I
moment
would
saw
like to
them,
do like a
I felt
shorter,
something. At first, I approached
a
them
shorter
with
game that
scope.
doesn't involve a lot of
However,
dexterity.
the contents of something I said upset it, and
But
it tried to
I
grab
just don't
me.
know. I don't know how to get into
It was,
that
the entity
really.
was incredible. My head would throb, and the pain felt bone deep. You probably can't imagine.
And with RPGs, the thing I worry about the most is kind of what you've seen on stream tonight, where I'm basically quote unquote speedrunning Frankton, not very well, mind you, and I'll just totally forget what I'm supposed to do next.
Thank you.
Thankfully,
No.
they have a hint system.
Do you mean to...
Enough. I don't need
I
to.
haven't looked into this at all, but there's some
Okay,
RPGs I can
sorry.
imagine would be good for
Didn't mean to piss
speedrunning,
you
like
off.
Saga
I
Frontier
need to
would
get back
probably
to
be
the
really
arcade.
good.
I was technically in the middle of a shift. I'm gonna write my number.
Wait,
Were you saying
I-
something?
I-
I have one more question before
I
we
have
go.
the same problem when
Alright.
running YiiK
How did you get to be
sometimes,
so
where
powerful?
since I am like just
Took more of
fast
a
forwarding
spot
through
and
all of the
barely broke a
text,
sweat.
sometimes I forget what story thing just happened. So I'll go back to like
Awkward
Alex's
one
house and I'll be like,
lesson,
wait, shouldn't there be something here? And I'll check the hint and I'm like, crap, I was supposed to go to the arcade. Just stuff like that.
I'm honestly glad that we decided to add that hint feature because it has saved me
The way I look
personally
at
as
it,
well.
we have two things
I'm
we
glad
need
you
to
added
do.
it too.
If we want to hang out with Vela again, we're gonna need to train our. Also,
Oh,
okay.
so this is going to be a
we're
little bit of a
gonna do that,
tangent,
don't
but right,
forget
but
she'll probably
that
hang up
that
on
new
you
guy
and
that
kick
I
our butts
brought into the
again
YiiK
if we don't
Discord,
have anything
Slender
cool.
or Slender
Damn.
Proxy
Are
or
we
Tyler
even cool
Slender
enough to
Proxy,
hang out with
whatever his
someone
name
like
was.
her?
Fucking that one guy was like hyping up
I'm
playing
still
YiiK for the
growing,
first
and
time,
you're an
right?
overgrown man
So
child.
yesterday I was
So let's
talking
hang
to
out
him,
at Frankton and try to
and
find
he
some
tells me
things to
something
bring
I
up.
never thought I would hear.
Sounds
So
good.
he starts
Thought you had
YiiK,
some healing items
and
for Burger Joint
he
for him.
can't find Alex's house, and he cannot find it for like I want to say he said about 15 minutes. He
Oh.
kept around and did not realize Alex's house was right above him.
Nope. Look, if
Uh,
you're...
So that happens. Then he figures out that's Alex's house. He goes inside of it. He gets the note,
It sounded so
and he then spends another extended amount of time not thinking to go to the right side of Frankton he hasn't been to yet.
What a weird.
And
Wow.
and I didn't even know you could do. He went to like the leftmost part of like Frankton, and then went towards like Southtown.
He was
Oh,
way off.
does it let you out there? I guess it might when because I know it guides you back to his house at the very beginning of the game. But I do not
Yeah,
I
see-
do not remember if it I've seen people, there's a small number of people, because I've watched a lot of people play during testing. There is a small number of people that do get confused about where to go right after that, and they don't think to head to the right, and they want to explore all the other houses. In my head, the way it worked is that they looked like houses, so like there wouldn't be a grocery store over there, so you'd be fine.
So
Whether or not that was successful,
I do want to point out real quick, if anyone watching this is like, what's with these weird dumb trees? YiiK is a game that's all about different realities, different universes, and I would assume in this universe you can quite literally just grow money on trees. Later on, you find out through Vela that where she came from, you could actually like call your dead loved ones on like a payphone. So stuff like that is apparently possible in these in this game, in this universes. So, by the way, is there any reason not to take that stuff? It's always
if
bothered
you
me.
take all of it, the tree wilts. If you leave one, I believe they grow back.
Oh, okay. Well, damn, now I want to not do that. That's fine. So we gotta fight stuff. Let's go fight. This feels like a tongue-in-cheek joke about grinding in RPGs.
Definitely has a bit of that in there. But
We got about.
I honestly think that it might have been written into the script first before we did anything, and then we're like, well, now you gotta level up.
Yeah, there's this part, and then there's like, I don't know if it was on purpose, but there's a part later that reminds me a lot of Persona, where you have a calendar and you're supposed to go so many days, sort of like training and doing different things, aka side questing. That was kind of cool. But yeah, we got about, I'll say like 10 more minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up because I actually need to save myself and get like an actual good night's sleep.
That's important. Yesterday I didn't even
I
know.
forget where you are in the story right now.
I'm just grinding. I
So I've
thought
just
there
been
might be
not
some
reading.
monsters here. I have to do the level 5 thing. Or like get to level 5. were you saying, Chloe? Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say, yesterday I slept for 16 hours and I felt great. So yeah, getting a good rest is important.
16 hours. It's twice the recommended amount.
I mean, I'm aware, but after I work 5 days in a row, my body just like shuts down on me.
Dude, when I was at work earlier, I really got kind of freaked out. Because, okay, so I work in a factory, and I really can't pinpoint what caused this. I'm guessing it's just like a lack of sleep for the most part.
There
Maybe,
might not be any more enemies from the overworld.
probably just a handful here and there.
Yeah, if you head out to the left, if you go back into town, you can make it to like the monster den where you'll find more stuff to kill.
Okay. Yeah, man, I had a dizzy spell at work today. It's the second one I've had in like a year. And I'm guessing it's
doing
just
okay?
I'm getting older. Like, I don't know, getting older and not taking proper care of myself. So yeah, I'm gonna try to reverse that. Otherwise, yeah, I'm fine. I had lunch and I was feeling better.
Yeah.
I have returned.
Hey,
Sorry about that. I got a unexpected phone call from someone I couldn't ignore, so
fun.
yeah.
I too get the mysterious me if I hear the record spinning.
Is that Andrew?
Yeah, it was one of those weird calls. Dun dun dun.
Oh, your mic sounds way different than it did a minute ago.
Oh, it's because I'm on my laptop now.
Okay. I think that might be better quality, actually.
Oh, cool. Well, the other one was from my webcam, so.
Ah, okay, yeah, that would explain it. So yeah, we're leveling up now. Let's try auto shoot. Is this still just button mashing? I think probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
I gotta put my controller on the table. Okay, well I killed one. Alright, so I think I'll probably just wrap up after this den. And we'll call that
Episode
night
1.
Episode 1, yeah. Episode 1 of the YiiK gang. And again, thanks to all three of you for showing up to my weird little stream.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was fun.
Always.
Sorry I was late.
Yeah, sorry I was late too.
No worries.
Sorry, I vanished in the middle.
Sorry, I also vanished for a minute.
We're all sorry.
Everyone here is sorry. We're
As
sorry.
long as
people.
everyone's sorry, I think that's the important thing.
We're a penitent group.
Everyone's friends and we're all sorry. I keep hitting Y to bring up the menu because I'm just so used to that, like other games and stuff.
Yeah, I probably should have done that in retrospect.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I got used to it on Switch. It's just haven't played in so long. Because I didn't really want to mess with the game until this was done. And now it is, so we're good.
Yes.
I'll be curious to see what you think of the changes.
So far, I like pretty much everything. So
That's good.
I think all the changes have been wise. I was fine with the original game as well. I think the only real gripe I had was, yeah, combat kind of took forever.
Yeah, I definitely think it's much better now than it was.
Right, yeah, and I really struggled to understand like equipment scaling, specifically with weapons. What is that noise?
I heard an instrument.
That's not.
I think.
Okay. It was loud and scary.
I guess it was my phone. So I muted my phone now.
Okay.
Whoops.
Amateur mistake. Come on, this is a
You know me.
professional stream. What are you doing? Come on. I
Sorry,
get paid
I'm
lots
no,
of money to do this. Lots and lots of money. to let Michael die.
Whoa, some of these recommended channels have insane numbers right now.
Not as much as mine.
Yeah.
Can't.
That's true.
You can't beat the YiiK gang.
Yeah, I will follow you. You might as well.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of just play random stuff. This is kind of the most official thing I've done so far.
Yeah, I'm just now kind of getting into Twitch. Like, I barely understand it. But...
Like streaming or watching?
Just watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, hopefully next time we can get Hellcrane on this too.
Yeah. I know they're down, but they were working now.
Okay, so that's why he couldn't come. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, so that's always been the cool thing about the Y2K community, from my standpoint, is every time I've gotten on to stream this game, I always have like 5 people just hanging out, and, you know, talking and having fun.
If there's one thing that's true about Y2K is people like to talk about it.
Definitely, yeah. Especially when it first came out. All sorts of people.
That's true.
That was a really interesting period for this game. I'll definitely say that.
Interesting is a good word for it. Yeah, let's go with interesting.
That was a weird period of time for me too, because like, I don't know if I would have found out about this game without it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have to be honest with myself. It definitely drove sales, and I don't know if the game would have been quite as successful had it just had like a couple decent reviews. Like, it probably would have had some people who talked about it, but probably not at the level that it has now. And like, you know, obviously we would prefer for it to be popular in a different way, but there definitely is the game's 2 years old and people still talk about it is pretty surprising. That doesn't happen for a lot of games, good or bad.
Right.
That's a good point.
Oh.
Oh, go ahead. That was...
Okay. See, like, I'll fully admit, I've said this in the YiiK Discord publicly. I originally did buy this game in, like, bad faith. I bought it to meme on it, basically. But then I sat down with because my boyfriend, he had bought me a PSN card for, like, Valentine's Day or something, and that's why I bought it. And then I sat down with him, and I let him play it, because I wanted to see what he was gonna, like, see in it. And that was the first time that, like, anyone had really challenged, like, my viewpoint. And he was like, no, I think this game is cool. It's got a lot of neat ideas. And, like, he sat down, and he, like, 100%ed the game on PS4, like, even when I wasn't around. He got, like, all of the available current endings, too, and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I guess I could sit down, give it a fair shot, and I sat down, replayed it by myself, and I was like, you know what? I love this game unironically.
It's interesting because I think something to do with influencer culture definitely does. You know, they're aptly named. Influencers is what they are. If a YouTuber has an opinion about a game, their audience will usually adopt it. Mostly because if you explain something to someone, you tell them why it's bad and what you think it's trying to do, it's really easy to have that voice in your head when you're playing through the game. Like, I always use Life is Strange as an example. I had a friend who bought Life is Strange to make fun of it, and now it's one of their favorite games of all time, but they had watched a YouTuber who just mercilessly mocked the game. And, you know, when they were playing the game in front of me, they were just repeating the same jokes from the YouTuber. And I'm like, well, why are we playing this if you don't like it? Like, is being upset about things the fun part for you? Is the anger and the rage how you interface with your hobby? Like, why is this such a popular way to consume products? And I have a lot of theories about it now, but it seems to me that there is a certain amount of addicting quality to being angry, especially if it feels like self-righteous. So self-righteous indignation can be really, really addicting, and I think it's why so many people just debate politics on Facebook all day long.
Oh.
And I think that the product that the YouTuber and the influencer sells is basically a stock opinion. And sometimes I agree with the opinion, sometimes I don't, but it's easy to watch a video that's 4 hours long and then you know what to think about something. And you're part of a community who thinks that thing already, and you now belong to this group. I'm not even saying that people who criticize Y2K are wrong. There's plenty of criticism for the game that is completely valid. This is more of an overall comment on how people relate to games now, which is very different than how it used to be.
I'm, this is a very simple sort of answer to that. I think people like AVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd, Spoony1, if you know who that is, just
people like Nostalgia Critic.
Nostalgia Critic. I think unintentionally they sort of may have made a fan base of people who look at things with a non-critical eye based on what they say. And I mean, again, that's the thing, but
look, the only reason that works is because it appeals to something that's already in us, though. Like, they didn't make people that way. But like, I always question, like, how healthy is it to spend your time talking and thinking about things that you think are trash? Like, there's plenty of games and stuff. Like, I have a friend who goes, "You like every game you play." I'm like, well, no, it's not true. I just don't talk about the ones I don't like, because why would I devote my waking hours, my little precious time on this earth, to being upset? Like, if I can choose to not fixate on something that's going to make me annoyed, why would I ever pick the opposite?
Okay, so here's my theory about it, right? I think that, and this especially seems to be the case with Y2K. Even the people who don't like it, even the people who make those big hour-long videos, like, they still see so much good in it that is why they talk about it. Like, even after I was, like, past the point where I thought this was going to, like, just stop being popular as, like, a meme, as it were, when I still didn't like it, that's what I would have called it. Every day I woke up, and I would just think about, like, I don't know, like a line from the game, or just, how much I liked the art or something, and it wouldn't get out of my head. Like, that's what kind of led me to, like, playing it more and then starting speedrunning and stuff. Like, I think it's less so that, like, people think YiiK is just a bad game, and that it's a bad game, but it's got a lot of upsides that are really noticeable. So that makes it interesting to talk about.
Great art, great music.
I suppose that's definitely possible. I mean, like I've said this before, I've never watched any Y2K videos on YouTube, never watched any essays. So my only experience with the Y2K hate is just the stuff that I saw on Twitter. And like the emails I get. Like, we get emails all the time of people who just say, like, really vile stuff to us. Like, the most common thing is that, like, that they want us to know that our mom died, knowing that her sons were making the worst game ever made. I've probably got 100 emails like that. I'm not even exaggerating that. We get them all the time.
The most popular opinion from email.
So it's not. So, like, yeah, even if those people do obsess over it because there's something about it that they do low-key like, it's still done in a way that's designed to try and hurt us.
No, okay, I want to be clear, I wasn't trying to, like, defend the people shitting on your game, it's just, explaining the thought process.
I think he's just adding another,
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were, and even if you did, I wouldn't really care. But, like, I think that, I mean, if you're going to make a 4-hour video about something, you obviously are passionate about it in some way. And, I think to a certain extent, most artists would rather make people upset and outraged than have them not react at all. And so, like, at the end of the day, I'm pretty much just happy that there is an emotional reaction to it in some way, good or bad. Because almost every indie game goes completely unnoticed. There's so many games that are released and no one ever talks about them. So, at this point, whatever we do, people are going to pay attention to, for better or worse. So it's, in some ways, it's not the best case scenario, but it wasn't the worst either.
I wonder.
Like-
Sorry to. I didn't mean to interrupt if you were still talking.
No, it wasn't. I'm good.
I kind of get this feeling, just as someone who's made a few things myself. When you're a content creator, I do sort of think that there's this. I think it is the right word, or ego, where you're trying to seem really smart or really interesting, and so you know these people who make these really long videos or things like that. I almost wonder if a good portion of it is just hammed up for the sake of that,
Well, what is the product they're selling you? Because remember, that is a business. What is the business model of the YouTuber?
Right.
They're selling
much
their
just-
personality. It's how they react to things. And if you react to something you really don't like in a really funny way, like Donkey does,
Donkey's hilarious.
that's you're gonna garner a huge audience. And even if you're doing it in bad faith, it doesn't matter because you're getting a couple million views and you're getting insane ad revenue. I would be willing to bet that a lot of gaming YouTubers make more money than the developers do.
Probably. That's a little.
And
I'd say sad, but
who wants to watch a video about someone gushing over something for 4 hours? Or if somebody does a deep dive into how much someone wasted their life making something, and we can all feel schadenfreude about how much better we are because we didn't make the bad
Actually, I
game.
don't have
For 4 hours, it's a nice escape, from our own inadequacies.
And on that note, I already hit level 5. I was like, yeah, let's do the whole dungeons. Like, wait, no, I don't have to. Actually, I can just move on. Oops. But yeah, we're gonna call it there. So yeah, thanks again for showing up, guys.
That was a lot of fun.
was
I'm
a lot
looking
of-
Yeah,
forward
thanks for
to
having us.
new golden alpaca sequence.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too. It's very different from what I have seen. But yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like a regular thing. We'll just have to talk about it behind the scenes. But whatever happens, I am gonna try to finish this game for the second time. But
Cool. Well, yeah, just let us know and we'll try and be around for it.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
same.
it, guys. Yeah, so I'll see you people next time, whenever that is. I do try to aim for Wednesdays and Saturdays, but here lately I've just kind of been doing it when I feel like it as well on top of that. So, yeah, till next time.